So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our graphing calculator to do basic operations with matrices as well as a little bit more complex things. Thus far, we've been utilizing our calculators and finding matrix solutions that were comprised of whole numbers or short decimals. Although these matrices have been useful, we must explore situations where the values we work with will be more complex. So example number 1, if you need to pause to enter these into your calculator, feel free. Enter the 4 by 4 matrix A and the 4 by 4 matrix B in your graphing calculator. When you're ready to move on, press play. Okay, so now that you have gone ahead and you've entered your matrices, I'm going to press second matrix to get to the same spot that you should be able to get to. Okay, so I went ahead and entered my matrices. You'll see they're both 4 by 4s. So now for example number 2, using the matrices A and B from example 1, evaluate each of the following in your calculator. The parentheses, use the left and right arrows to scroll and see all entries, refers to your answers. So for A, I want to do A times B, meaning matrix A times matrix B. So I'm going to do second matrix, and all I'm going to do is pull up the names and the appropriate operations. So matrix A, and then go back into my matrix menu and call out matrix B and press enter. Now, the arrow that parentheses or bracket refers to is this arrow right here. If you look, we can see the first 3 columns perfectly. The 4th column is a little bit harder to see, so when I press the right arrow, voila, it now appears. Again, you'll also notice that once I go all the way to the right, now there's a left arrow about the middle on the left side. And if I press the left arrow, it'll bring me back to the front. One other helpful hint, if you don't like writing all these decimals down, you can convert all of these decimals to answers, because remember, decimals, unless they are irrational numbers, can be written as fractions. So if I press math followed by choice 1 for fraction and enter, it converts most of my answers to fractions. Now, 1211.957 is a little bit of an outlier. It's just because your calculator only has so much memory. So if we go to a question like 2b, b times 2a, like we did before, you're just using the names and the operations. So second matrix, b times, we can even put in the time sign. I didn't do that on the last one, but it didn't matter. Matrix A. Go ahead, choose the name A, and press enter. And again, you see the decimals. You also see that right triangle over here. So instead of writing all these decimals, which could get kind of crazy, remember, we can do math, fraction, enter, and now I can actually see a lot easier with a lot less numbers to have to write down. Same thing will also apply with C, 5A minus 1/5 B. So I'm going to do 5, matrix A, choice 1, minus. Now, if you have the new operating system, remember, you can do alpha y equals to get the fraction menu, choice 1. We're going to do 1/5. The only thing is, remember to turn off the fraction menu if you get that by pressing the right arrow, followed by matrix B. So again, second matrix, choice 2. And go ahead and press enter. And surprise, most of these answers came out as fractions. I didn't have to convert them. So that'll give me basic operations along with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and combinations of them. And then the last thing on this page to talk about is inverses. So note, x to the negative 1 does represent the inverse. It'll give you the reciprocal if x is a number, but it will also give you the matrix of any matrix as long as the matrix is already entered. So if I want to find the inverse of matrix A, like we did with all our operations, you're just going to call up the name and then tell it to take its inverse. So we're going to do second matrix, choice 1, followed by inverse, and press enter. Again, these are really gross decimals. I hate to say decimals are gross. They're not really gross. It's just if you had to write this all down, trust me, it would take you a while because I don't know if you noticed, that took me at least 2 right triangles to get to the end. So if I go back 1, 2, 3, actually 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, you don't want to do that many. So if you can, you always want to try and go to math, followed by fraction, and enter. And while those denominators sometimes get very large, it's a lot easier writing these than the decimals you saw. So if you need to rewatch any part of this video, feel free. And when you're ready, move on to page 2's video.